What's going on, good people? Welcome back to Center You Podcast. I am your host, Jamarr Tillman. I am so happy to be here today. I'm so grateful. I always try to start my day or start this podcast with gratitude because I'm blessed and God is so good. I'm so grateful that He's allowed me to have the courage to start my own podcast. Yo, I got my own podcast. All right, y'all. So today, this week has been a great week for me. Let's just hop right into it. Okay, building your community, right, and making sure that you have good people around you. You have good friends around you, people who pours into you, who loves on you, who, every time you walk into a room, they light up because they're happy to see you, right? That is the community that I want to build. And if anyone out there, if you're like me, then I'm sure you want that same community, right? I'm sure you want those same friends. So I got a little story to tell y'all. Okay, I got a little story. So 2 Sundays ago, I invited a friend out to a premiere for a show that I've been a part of. And that day for me, I had a great time. One of my homegirls, it was her birthday. She invited me out to the spa. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. It was great. I was relaxed. I got a massage. I was happy, and things were great. And so I went to the premiere, and afterwards, I invited a friend to come with me. And afterwards, we went out. We went out, and we had a great time. And we really, was enjoying ourselves, right? And it got to a point throughout the night, or at some point at the night, where this particular individual, put their hands on me. And I was taken back by it because we had been friends for so long, and I've never had any friend of mine or anyone who knows me, I've ever got into any physical altercation with anybody, because I don't live my life like that. That is not what's up. That is not how people should move through life. That is not how superstars move, And so, and when I mean superstar, like, not a movie superstar, but just like, I'm a superstar. We all are superstars, right? And so there was a physical altercation that happened, and that was the day that God had to let me know, sir, you got to be careful of the people that you have in your space. And sometimes we don't always know people's intentions until a situation happens, and then you're like, oh my God, like, this is not okay. This is a red flag. And so when I talk about friendships, so for me, I am the oldest. I have a younger sister, and it's only just been us two. So when it comes to other men in my life, or when it comes to other friendships that I, cultivate and like nurture and build on, I value those friendships, right? Because I've always wanted a brother, and I've never had a brother. I only have a younger sister. So I cherish those friendships with my male friends. And I was not expecting that to happen from someone who I've been knowing for 10 plus years. And it got to a point where even the next day I did some self-reflecting. And I talked to God, and I said, well, Lord, is it because, like, did I deserve this? Did I, like, how was my energy? How was my spirit? Like, and I had to stop myself, because sometimes things do happen to you that is unexpected, but sometimes the unexpected is because God's trying to teach you something. And I know at that particular moment, God was trying to teach me, like, be careful, even more now, because where I'm taking you, everyone can't go with you. Even if you've been knowing people for a very, very long time, years and years and years at a time, that doesn't matter. Because sometimes when God elevates you, especially spiritually, then you have to move differently, right? In the Bible, it says iron sharpens iron. Like, I want to be around people who sharpen me. I want to be around people who I can learn from. I want to be around people to where even if you hold me accountable for something, or I hold you accountable for something, because we know it's coming from a space of love, that I'm still able to receive what you're saying, and vice versa, right? So that particular moment where someone put their hands on me, it for me, I did a whole 360 on just people that I call a friend. I think sometimes we use that term loosely. I think that sometimes as people, we tend to, it's easier to call people our friends when there might have been much time invested in the friendship. There might have not been much, growing or the test of time, if you will. And I'm here to, one, share that experience that I had with someone, and I don't ever want to experience that ever again with anyone that I call a friend. Because to me, when I call you a friend, when I love you and I care about you and I want the best for you, right? I don't equate that to people putting their hands on each other, or I don't equate that to people mistreating people, right? And even if that happens, there needs to be a conversation, right? We're not mind readers. We can't just assume that people have an issue, right? You have to be able to communicate what those issues are so that you can grow the friendship. It's like a relationship. A friendship also needs a foundation, right? It needs something to stand on. So if the friendship is shaky, then if you guys have a solid foundation, then you guys can get back on track, or you guys can try to figure out what the issue was, and let's talk about the issue, and then we can grow from it and learn from it, right? Every moment, every disagreement you have with a friend, it should be a teachable moment for myself and the other person, whether it was my fault, whether it was their fault, or whatever fault it was. Every moment, you should look at it as a teachable moment. Moving forward, I'm going to be very, very intentional on the people that I let into my personal space, right? Anyone who knows me knows, like, my apartment is my, this is my safe zone, right? This is where I feel the most comfortable. This is where, I lay my head, right? This is where I'm just like, oh, I'm at home, right? I'm chilling, I'm relaxed, right? And when I let you into my space, when I let you here, I don't want anybody around me that's not for me, that's not wanting me to be successful, that doesn't want the best for me, that doesn't want me to grow, or who feels some kind of way about me, but then people just don't say it. You will have that. Now, we're gonna do a little poll. Who has had people around them and then you realize that they were not your friend? Like, I feel like we've all have experienced that. And I feel like when those situations happen, I personally feel like it's God letting us know, again, when we grow spiritually, God starts to move in a way that only you are able to understand. So that means you have to be very, 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 very aware of the people that you are letting into your space. I cheer for you and root for you. It's like a ping pong, right? We just going back and forth and going back and forth. I pour into you. I spread positivity into your life. When you're at your lowest, you spread positivity into my life when I'm at my lowest, right? So we just have to be mindful and careful and very just particular to the people that we let in our personal spaces. First moved here to LA. It'll be 10 years in August of this year. Wow. Oh, yo, 10 years. 10 years. 15 years since I've been living in LA. It's crazy. It seemed like I just moved here like 5 years ago. Wow. But when I moved here, again, my cousin Nelson Ellis, he had some friends here. He had people here that I knew or hung around, and I found myself in a space in my life where I was trying to attach myself to people. Because you gotta think about it. I have a big family. I have a big family on my mom and my dad's side, and so I have a lot of first cousins. So I'm used to, camaraderie. I'm used to family supporting me. I'm used to me supporting my family members. I'm used to that. And when I came to LA, it's just not like that. I thought that it would be a space where people would be, they invite you into their space and, kind of seek you out and see what kind of person you are and kind of how you move through life and decide whether they want to be, get to know you or just, you guys be in each other's space. There's a particular group I was attaching myself or trying to attach myself to, and it just wasn't working. Like I was, like, let's hang out. I was always calling and texting, let's doing this, let's do that. And it just wasn't reciprocated. Or if I would see these people, it would only be if a friend of mine was in town, and then that's how I would be able to connect with them. But other than that, it wasn't us connecting, with each other on our own. And I can be honest and say that when I first moved here, I was in a vulnerable space, and I was looking for friendship, and I was looking for people that I wanted to connect with, or even I thought wanted to connect with me. And then you come to realize that wasn't the case. And I had been doing it for so long, just connecting myself to people and, trying to befriend people, trying to hang out, trying to set something up, like, let's go out to eat, let's do this, or trying to find some sense of, trying to find some sense of connection with individuals, right? And until one day, I don't know what the situation was, but I think one particular day I said to myself, like, why am I running around trying to find friends? Because sometimes it can get lonely in LA. Anyone who's an artist, you're an actor, and you move from one city to the next to follow your dreams and pursue a career. At least for me as an actor, I wanted people around me. I wanted to have a friend group. I wanted to be connected to people where, we can go out and go out for a Sunday brunch, or we can just have a great time, or like, people are having game nights and I'm being invited to game nights. And that just wasn't a move until I realized, you be the glue. You be the individual that brings a certain energy to a space. You attract what you want. So if I wanted, people in my life, and I wanted friendships in my life that were meaningful. I wanted friendships in my life where we're catching up with each other, we're connecting each other. We're talking about our personal lives, we're talking about life in general, we're talking about us navigating being an artist, an actor in LA. I wanted those friendships, and I can honestly say now I have those friendships. And so I'm grateful that I stopped looking outward and I started to look inward as, well, Jamarr, you want these friends, you want to have these relationships, but how are you showing up in these spaces? How are you being the friend to others that you want them to be to you? And I literally had to check myself, appreciate the people and the relationship that I built with my friends that I value. Stop worrying about the people that don't show up for you. Focus on the ones who do show up for you, because it's not fair to the people that show up for you, but then you worrying about the people who didn't show up for you, right? I've experienced that before too. And so we need to make sure that as people, as Black people, as people in general, that we're just supporting each other, loving on each other, building a community within each other, build the block and the foundation of a friendship. Because if it gets rocky, if it gets shaky, at least you guys have something to stand on to rebuild the friendship back up. I have a best friend I've been knowing Robert for, we went to high school together. We've been knowing each other for a very, very long time. And we've traveled together. We've had meaningful conversations. You know, he knows what's going on in my life. I know what's going on in his life. You know, we support each other. We love on each other. But then also too, because life is sometimes, we don't always talk the way that we would like to, or the way that we used to. That don't mean ain't nothing happened. That's my dog. That's my dog. He's gonna be the best man in my wedding. I'm gonna be the best man in his wedding. Like that's my friend. And I'm grateful to him because he has accepted all of me, right? He accepts me for who I am. And we need people like him. We need people, in our circle that's part of our community, that's part of our foundation, that loves us unconditionally and accepts everything about us, good and the bad and the indifferent. And so if you have to take a step back and reflect on your friend group, or reflect on your community, or reflect on, dropping some old friends so God can move in a way and he can introduce you to some new people that can elevate you, whether that's emotionally, spiritually, financially, right? Right, you want people around you that elevate you, right? You don't want people around you that's always taking and taking and taking and taking. Let's take a moment in this time right now. If you have any good friends in your life, a good support system, people who love on you, who support you, who want you to win, who pours into you, who pours positivity into you, take a minute and give them a call, give them a text to let them know that you appreciate them. Thank y'all so much for chatting with your boy, y'all. This is episode 3 of Center You Podcast. Y'all have a great rest of your week. I'll see you next week.